Hello, my name is Dr. Maya Byfield. My business is The Phenomenal STEMist. I'm so excited to be here in Orange County because it's where I live. I live in Apopka, Florida. And I decided to make this business because I saw a need for underrepresented students to be successful in STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, math. And the best way I can do that is just provide products for parents to prepare them, whether it's a book or online STEM camps or just video podcasting. My goal is to transform this community, especially those who are underrepresented. And the way to do that is to help parents understand their children's minds and basically develop them at different stages of their lives to be prepared for a successful STEM career. Thank you so much. That's why I'm here.
Hello?
Hey, 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 I hear you good.
Okay, good.
It's the phenomenal STEMist. How is everyone? How are you, Dr. Yona?
Good, good, good. Busy, busy, busy.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
A lot going on these artificial intelligence streets out
These
here.
these artificial intelligence streets. There's a lot going on these streets.
I'm telling you, people
It's
are leveraging the power of these tools as was predicted, but unfortunately, some of us are getting left behind.
and we're trying to make sure that that doesn't happen.
That is as much as we can.
That's why we're here. We don't want the community to be left
Left
behind.
behind.
Listen, before I we start talking about that, I just want to make sure people understand that Phenomenal STEMist, the book, is on Amazon. Don't forget, support this channel by buying a book.
Can they
Getting
order from your website directly?
They can contact me via
Mm,
my website
I
or
see.
any social media platform.
Uh-huh.
And if you are in the Orlando area, I can give
Get a
you a
copy.
signed copy.
Right.
Or you can invite me to speak at your institution and I'll bring a whole bunch of
Get some
books
copies.
and get some copies.
Or you can do
But
what
the
I did, sponsor some copies to some deserving individuals.
That's right. You could sponsor some copies as Dr. Yona did. Uh that's powerful. I love when people do that. I love to give
Right.
away books that are sponsored
Believe in
by
the dream. We believe in it. So we put our
yeah.
money where our mouth is.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And who's watching? I know my number one fan is here.
Yes, Sister My Fail.
My number one fan is here. I don't know who else is here. They're watching. I see a couple of people watching, but
Okay.
I won't know who you are unless you greet me. Greet me.
Say
Tell me
hello.
where you're watching from. We have people watching from LinkedIn. We have people watching from Facebook. So it's and YouTube, of course. Well, we're gonna get right into it. Don't
Yes.
forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You see it flowing at the bottom. We said that there are a lot of people that are getting left behind. I was invited to speak at the
I saw that. I was like, you go, girl.
Florida College System um had I think an annual council. They have the annual council and they had a segment
on artificial intelligence, and it was a great opportunity. I was a part of a panel, so I wouldn't say that I was speaking,
Okay.
but I was answering a lot of questions.
Right, right.
And this is the education system. The education system is trying to really
Listen,
get
next
caught up.
week I'm be in Mexico speaking to, it's the World Engineering Education Forum. World,
Wow.
so educators, deans, and people in charge of engineering education at some of the biggest colleges across the nation, well, worldwide. They're going to be there. And the number one thing they want to hear, which is what my husband and I will be addressing, is how to incorporate artificial intelligence into engineering education. I will be
Mm,
speaking there. They have invited me there to tell them how to do that. Okay.
wow.
So,
You
yes,
getting flued out. Dr. Udona's getting flued out. I love getting
put
flued
out
out.
and put up and fed and all of that, right?
Listen, I know what you're talking about. I love when I get flued out and fed and put up. It's fun.
Girl, but
Shout out to
the thing is, that's the life, right? Because I have the knowledge, and I've decided to walk in my calling, which I'm doing. And but it's not anything that anyone else can't do as well.
absolutely.
So I'm always like, and that's one of the reasons why I do what I do. Because I want to show up and take up space so that others like me coming behind can feel, they can know that they belong.
Yeah.
They know there's nothing, no reason why they can't be where I am, or even further. But the point is that there are these people who are clamoring for this information, which I can help facilitate, and I'm willing to do it for us for free.
Let's go. Let's do this. That's
So,
for certain people. Not everybody get it for free. Listen. Don't forget. Oop, my battery. I forgot to charge. I forgot to put the plug in. That's very important. That's important.
yes, don't let it die.
don't don't let the technology die, y'all.
Right.
Don't let the technology die.
Yeah,
Listen,
and this brings us right to our topic, right? Because there's so many analogies that can be made between AI and so many aspects of life, right? Artificial intelligence is called artificial intelligence. It's not real, ladies and gentlemen. It's mimicking our God-given intelligence. It can never be us. It can never even be as intelligent as us. It can be extremely efficient and automated in certain aspects, in certain areas, at certain tasks. But in terms of the whole of the intelligence that we possess as God created creations, these machines are way off. And I don't want to get too much on my soapbox, but we're a society that's obsessed with technology, so that's where
mhm.
all the money and all the interest and all the funds are flowing, right? So I'm not mad because I'm benefiting from that too.
Shout out to T for technology.
There we
T for
go.
technology.
It's what's running the world right now. But
That's what's getting us flued out, Dr. Uona. That's what's getting us flued out.
that's the truth, right? And we decided that, hey, we're
Well,
gonna
you
get
got a
people
husband. You got a husband. Your husband could flew you out too.
listen.
I don't have somebody to
It's called power coupling. Hello.
hey,
I
hey.
saw that a long time ago, right? That was my vision, Liz. Okay.
I know. But as I wait for that power couple, I'll let my education get me flued out.
That's right.
I'm
That's
not gonna
right.
get flued out by other
Absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah, you don't have to wait because you can do that. I can do this by myself. I chose to do it with him because I know what the pluses of that route,
Exponentially.
but that's a whole nother topic. But no, the thing is that these are tools. These are tools like everything else, and we always are the ones to be so late to the game when it comes to adopting tools. I saw that post that I sent you where someone was offering training or insight on using the chat GPT and other models for the church, and there was so much resistance, I should say, let me put it mildly, Like people were saying that that is of the devil and all that kind of stuff. And it was like, I was like, here we go again, right? What was it? The internet was of the devil at one time,
Yeah.
right?
TV is of the
The
devil.
TV was of the devil. Okay, I mean, this that's the thing. It's like we live in a world where we possess the ability to innovate, and we're going to be creating new technology, and we have to learn how to stay ahead of the game. You know, we don't have to get into everything, but we have to be aware of what's out there, what's happening, what's coming. I mean, our young people are into it, so we trying to bury our head and pretend like it didn't exist or call it devil or whatever is not the answer, right?
All right, all right. So before we start talking about our main topic for today, I just want to remind you, Data Doctor on TikTok. You can follow. Very important for you to follow her and make sure that you're watching her short videos. Um, she is trying to really, really empower our community. The best way she knows how. She's putting all videos on LinkedIn, TikTok. As I said before, subscribe to her or follow her on Data Doctor on TikTok to see all the things that she's doing to really, really, really help to educate the community, because we always seem to get on page last.
Yeah.
And so I think I really want to talk about, for the remainder of the quarter, the role that AI can play in empowering the community.
Yeah.
And today, especially the black community's central hub. My mother says, pray for these old age folks. It's old people, it's young people.
No, but your presence here is huge, right? You're supporting the work, and that means a lot. So if that's what your role is, do that, Sister Byfield. We love being happy.
But, my first question is, why are people so afraid of artificial intelligence? Especially people, as you saw in the comment section when it was so negative. The church. I've
Hmm.
heard things like, it's like you said, it's of the devil, it's demonic spirit. I mean, they're making stuff up.
Yeah, yeah,
They're not even taking the time to learn it. They're just making
right.
stuff up.
Yeah, because
Why do people
well,
do that?
so there are a number of reasons. One, and people don't like to hear this, but there are certain entities that are benefiting from us not participating.
That's right.
Okay, so if we, no matter if we want to call it the devil, if we want to call it this, whatever, they don't care as long as we don't play in the same arena as they are, right? So whatever it takes to keep us out, they're going to push that narrative, and they might even use some of us to push the narrative among us.
They always you us.
Yes, yes, yes,
It's
yes,
always us that hurt us.
right, because they
It's
know
us that's not reading. It's us
that's
that
it. They
the
know that
scholars.
many of us are not going to take the time to educate ourselves, to inform ourselves. We're going to listen to some sound bites here and jump on some conspiracy theory here, and we're going to take some little minor thing out of context and run with it because, you know, everybody wants to be the sage or the holy one, or the, I don't know, all kinds of reasons why people would want to avoid the challenge. But it's not just this. This is like the same thing that happens when anything new comes around. There are people who talk about now with the AI, this older gentleman, he was like maybe 20 years my senior, but he was saying that he's an accountant, and when the calculator came in, everybody swore that will be the end of the field of accountancy, and there will be no more need for accountants, and our brains are gonna turn to rot because we won't know how to do
Add
simple
and subtract.
calculations anymore because now we have calculators, and that never panned out. It's the same thing with the AI. These are tools. They are created by, they are controlled by, they are run by human beings. And no matter how you may see in the sci-fi movie robots trying to take over, that I mean, we're miles away from that. Okay, let's just establish that. The other thing is that there are so many when you face with a new innovation, there's a responsibility we have to make sure that we are guiding the next generation in terms of
Yeah,
how they use the tools,
yeah.
and that is going to require us to
To
put in
know
the
it.
work to know how to respond adequately.
We have to keep our children up to date with other
Absolutely.
children. Other children are learning artificial intelligence.
They sure are.
If our children don't learn artificial intelligence, our children are going to be light years behind the
Exactly.
children that are learning artificial intelligence.
Yes, because in the next 10, 20 years, almost every profession is going to have some aspect of artificial intelligence involved. Anything you can think of, whether it's medicine or finance or engineering or education. I mean,
Refield.
they were talking about civil engineering that's going to be heavily involved. AI is going to be involved. They were talking about farming. I mean, any profession you can think of right now,
Everything.
AI is going to be involved. And those who will find success in those many fields are going to be those who either have some general understanding of the tool or they have to employ somebody who does. So
Period.
decide
And
on what way
I
you're
want
going.
before I get into talking about how AI can impact the church, I want to give you a real life experience scenario, not experience necessarily, of what happens when a certain demographic does not take part in artificial intelligence or the new technologies. So, for instance, they're using technology to diagnose certain
Of course,
things,
yeah. Mhm.
right? So let's say they have technologies to look at lungs that have COVID. Listen to me. Lungs that have COVID, they have hundreds of thousands of pictures of images of lungs that have COVID.
Right.
So what scientists do is they look at those images, they use the technology of those technology to observe these images, and they by looking at multiple images they can decide, they can predict, because this is what a lung looks like
Like when it has,
when it has COVID.
yeah,
So then when you come in sick and you get your picture take, your
X-ray or
imagery,
whatever. Uh-huh.
your scan, they will then compare your lung to the predicted lung based on the multiple images,
Mhm.
and they will say, oh, this person has COVID because it looks like the several images that we've taken.
Right. Yeah, the
But
model is going to make a prediction and it's going to say, well, there's a 70%, 80%, 90% chance that this person is suffering from COVID. So,
but what happens if they only have pictures of males? This was an issue. If they only have images of male lungs, there was a situation where there was research done where it said that females were getting diagnosed um I think 5 days later as compared to their male counterparts, because when we looked at all the lungs and we compared them to the person's scan, we said since it doesn't look like the scan, then they don't have they were diagnosing women later because
yeah.
of it. You
Yeah.
understand?
And
So if you have both, if you have everybody involved in the process with everybody's data in the process, then you can lead to more diagnosis equitably. Yeah, I'm sorry. You
yeah.
want to say something, Dr. Yona?
No, I'm saying that this issue goes back to the time, even, well, I shouldn't say time, it still exists, where the symptoms of a heart attack are based on those experienced by men, and a lot of women were being misdiagnosed, being sent back home from the emergency room because they didn't have the classical male symptoms of a heart attack, and they would be sent home with an aspirin only to die because they
Right.
were having a heart attack. But
Because
with men, they experience chest pain, chest tightness. Women have this weird anomaly where they have the pain in their arm extending, and so now they're realizing, oh, that is actually a
A
symptom of
symptom
heart
too.
in women.
Yeah.
So that's just one of the things. But when it comes to AI, again, there's so much bias, and we kind of talked about it a little bit. But one of the main areas, not just even with disease, but they have image recognition. I mean, there
Yeah.
was a lady who got denied because a black female, of course.
Hmm.
She had an image with her, and then she got pregnant, and so she experienced hyperpigmentation and whatever. They
Hmm.
and the model said, nope, that's not you, that's someone else trying. And she was cut, excluded from all of her devices, her own home.
Wow.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
because see, and so we have to work on it, and we
Right.
and we have to have people like us working
Yeah,
on it,
because
or
the
else.
regular, it takes someone like a black female to know that black females experience major hyperpigmentation during pregnancy. It's a thing.
It's if and if
So
we don't tell, if we're not involved in the process to tell them that
they
the
don't
products that are made
are
in a
not going
biased
to factor
way.
those things in. Yeah.
So I hope people understand why it's so important that the community is involved. So
Yes, we
how
have to include
can
them.
I have some ideas of how the church can
Okay.
really, really be impacted by artificial intelligence, but I want to hear your thought. How can the church be impacted by
Oh
artificial
my
intelligence?
goodness. The list is endless. Of course, we have the whole area of the leadership, the pastors from design creating their sermon outline, and whatever they, but you can use AI to create educational resources for the members, whether it's the older members or the children. You can use AI for all of your social media marketing, promotion, fundraising, all that kind of stuff. That now becomes a whole lot easier. And then for the church office, I don't know what they're called right now, administrators, let's just say that, all of that, the bulletins and the announcements and all this kind of stuff, that can be, you can create, you can actually create an AI assistant who can,
Mhm.
you can outsource all of that to, I mean, it's your model, so all the information stays within your organization, but it then takes care of all the automated things, so free you up now to do some other more, creative kind of things. But in terms of you and I, we think about things like the church. You can use AI to start fundraising, to start a business, to apply for grants, to write proposals, and all that kind of stuff. All of that has become easier now. I mean, lawyers are using ChatGPT to write their legal briefs.
Briefs. Yeah. You just go on ChatGPT and say, give me an outline on how I can fundraise for the church.
Yeah, and
And
it will, yeah, in
and
seconds you'll have several
in my
pages.
opinion, the church, the issue with the church is really execution,
Yeah,
not ideology.
not
Like,
exactly.
you can literally just say, ChatGPT, what can I do to do that?
I know.
And the question is, will you do
Will you
it?
do it, right? Because even that very the basic question, you can ask ChatGPT, list some ways in which the conversation AI and ChatGPT or whatever, however you want to call it, can be of benefit to the church, and it'll give you in seconds,
Matter of fact, let's
right?
do it right now. Let's do
Exactly.
it right now. I have it open. So give me, hey, say that again. List some ways
That,
that Chat GPT can assist the church.
yep,
All
and
right. So
see what comes
let's
up.
see what comes up. I got like, it's still
It's
talking. It's
still
still
kind of,
talking. It's like it's 15 points.
oh
15
my
points.
goodness.
ChatGPT can assist the church in various ways,
Mhm.
including providing answers to theological questions. ChatGPT can offer information and explanations on religious doctrines, scriptural
Okay,
interpretation,
let me pause there
theological
1 minute,
concepts.
because that first one I think is what scares people a lot,
I
right?
know. And they're like,
Because here's what you
false
can
doctrine.
you can put exactly, you can put that in any question in, and ChatGPT will give you the average response of everyone on the internet in terms of which is the most popular. It's a probability machine. That's what it's
Yeah.
going to do, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whichever answer is the most popular, that's the one that it's going to give. But as I was implying, these models can be fine tuned.
Right.
You
And
can
it's not always the most popular because
true.
it's also based on, remember, there's a lot of people that have popularity, but it has the Bible on there.
Yep.
It has commentaries on there.
Yep.
Because I did a study on slavery and race, and it was pretty rock solid.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So it has it's more than just people's comments.
True. Yeah.
It has like
So something
theological
like that,
studies.
maybe a little bit more subject, but people ask questions like, "Is there a God?" or something,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
that
yeah,
tends to.
yeah, yeah,
But what
yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to emphasize is that these models are trained on the vast majority of the data on the internet, right? So
Everything, all
it's
the
like if
words.
you take all the people on the internet and you found the average person and then you ask them a question, right? But the thing is, the models can be fine tuned, right? So you will
Yeah.
have all this information. You can fine tune one of those models and say, I want you to use this base of knowledge. So, like, you can feed the model the spirit of prophecy and say, I want you to answer only from
Based
this.
on that from
Exactly.
from the Bible
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
Ellen
from the
G. Wright's
Bible and
writings.
whatever other resource you want to restrict your response to.
You could create your own
Right.
AI.
Because
Okay.
that's what people are doing. Even the lawyers, like, they will say, respond based on American law. Or if you're in another country, respond based on UK law or German law. Because of course the laws will have different nuances, right? So you want to make sure that your response is appropriate for the region. Similarly with any of your Bible, and even with something like the fundraiser, if you say you take one of those items on the list and you say, I'm going to use this, can you please expound? And I talk to my model very with manners. Please expand on number 5, whatever. So say it's a fundraising, give me some ideas, or give me steps in the program. It'll tell you everything from what to do from day 1 all the way up until day 15, day 25.
Yeah.
It will break
Hold
it
on.
down.
So pastoral support. ChatGPT can offer emotional, spiritual guidance to individuals needing counsel. So you
Mhm.
can use an outline as to help them. Administrative tasks. ChatGPT can help with administrative duties such as managing appointments,
Mhm.
maintaining church calendars. Do we
Yeah.
still have those
Yep.
things out there? Answering frequently asked questions.
Yes. Yes.
ChatGPT can help with outreach and evangelism. ChatGPT can create content for
Yep.
online outreach, social media, websites to engage a
Mhm.
broader audience. ChatGPT can assist in connecting with and organizing community events,
Mhm.
charity events, volunteer events. It can do event planning, right?
Yep.
ChatGPT can organize and plan religious events, retreats,
Yep.
seminars. Like you say, hey, expound on I'm gonna say expound
Which one?
on
The retreat
number
thing?
number 12, or even like crisis response. It can help with
Yep.
crisis
Yep.
disasters, how to provide information. But I'm gonna expound on number 11, where
Which
it's
one is that?
11. How would you plan a singles retreat?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not gonna a Christian singles retreat.
It'll give you the whole thing.
Let's see
And
what it. So, all right, look what it says. Define your goals, select a theme, choose a date, budgeting, plan a committee, program development. I mean, it keeps going.
right,
Like
right. And so
it
when
has
it
bullet
says
points. It
define
has
the
bullet
goal,
points.
right, you can put that back on ChatGPT and say, suggest 5 goals that might be appropriate. And it'll give you 5 and you choose one and say, okay, this is the one I like. Can you develop a theme, a weekend or whatever on this particular, whatever. Yes. Oh yeah, you can absolutely write some
Absolutely, it can write.
animal
It's helped me write.
presentations.
It's helped me write presentations. Things
Yep.
that listen. I've gotten calls to say, I need you to talk about this specific thing, and I need to do it in a week.
Yeah.
Things that usually take me a month to prepare took me 2 days.
Yes.
It's about the time. It's assistant. I
That's
wrote
the
the
key.
presentation,
Yeah.
but they gave me a good framework, especially in things that you don't have a strong understanding of.
Yeah. But even in
Yeah.
things that you do have a strong understanding of, in terms of streamlining your outline, your thought
Ideas.
process, it'll
Yeah.
just make everything. So instead of you like, oh, should I have this here, or should I do this? Should I include that? No, it'll tell you, here's an examples. Should be the introduction. Here should be the body. These items should be listed, and this should be how you conclude. And then if if it gives you said, can you suggest another conclusion? Because I may not like the conclusion that you get. One thing I like to do is always, when I am querying the models, I always ask, give me 5
Multiple.
suggestions, so I can choose the one that I want. And then even after it's done that, I will take the suggestion or whatever the output that the model gives, and I will copy paste it into a document, and I will tweak it, edit it, personalize it to my.
And you have to make sure it's accurate,
and check the accuracy. Yeah.
Because artificial intelligence has a lot of they call it a hallucination.
And let me explain what a hallucination is, right? These models are probability models. So what it'll do is it's filling in the next word in a sequence based on how probable it is, how likely it is. And so if it is asked a question about a term that it doesn't really know much about, it'll make
stuff up. It ain't perfect now.
I remember I asked Bard, which is Google's AI, about something, and Bard gave me some answer, and I was like, I don't
no, that's not true.
I put it back in Bing, and Bing said, I have no evidence of such.
It's not perfect now.
So that's why that's why we still are involved, right? Because these are machines. They do not possess any innate intelligence as such.
They're just using probability words of what's the likelihood that this word would follow. And this is artificial intelligence, LLM specifically, which is learning language models. Okay. Things like ChatGPT are LLMs, large language models.
Right. So
and so they're literally
how much data it was trained on, a huge amount. Language meaning it was trained on natural language or language that humans speak mostly. But I must add that these models were also trained on large amounts of code, so they can actually write programs. Which is like, people like, but the model can write programs, that's in its training base. And that's why the models, they are the foundation models as they exist, but you can take any one of those models and fine-tune them. You fine-tune the ones that exist, or you can get the API and create your own models with all of your own specifications. Like, you can say, I only want you to answer in the style of Shakespeare, and it will do that. If you say you only wanted to answer in Jamaican patois, it will do that for you. So
here comes Mother. She's talking about scary. Why are you scared? Why are you scared? This is nothing to be scared.
No, but I want to know, because this is how a lot of people feel, right? She's not alone.
Yeah, explain it on there, Mom. Why are you scared? So while you're explaining why you're scared, I want to talk about another way that artificial intelligence can impact the church. So what we've been talking about is LLMs, large language models, right? Where the technology has incorporated all the words that it has seen on the internet, or you could actually train it yourself, but whatever more the word comes as likely. So if I say there, as in THERE, the more likely word that comes after there is.
Yeah.
There is. And then what's the most likely word that will come after is? There is there is a. So it goes based on probability of words, right? That's one type of artificial intelligence, and it's pretty cool to watch.
It's getting all the buzz right now. So
yeah, but another type of artificial intelligence is machine learning and how you can use data to make predictions as to what to do.
Yeah.
So the church, I'm going to actually, unless you have more to say,
Hmm.
this is one of the main things. We have a, I was working with the church clerk. I of my church,
Uh-huh.
there is a large database
Yeah.
of everybody that has been baptized and transferred into your church. If
Yeah.
you have an organized church, every time someone is baptized or transferred in or come in via profession of faith, there is a log of hundreds of thousands of people with their name, when they got baptized, their address.
Yeah.
We can actually find out using artificial intelligence how to organize them, for
Yeah.
instance.
In fact,
That's what they do out. That's what the
that's one of the fastest growing area of artificial intelligence. Data mining big data for insights, because businesses are realizing now that the key to them making it's called data driven decision making, DDD. It's a whole industry, right? Because they realize that when they make decisions based on the data, it's the most, they have the best chance of adding value, and we know what that value means. Exactly, exactly.
Right. So if I have all your information and I know that you always go to Starbucks,
Yep.
then I'm going to put Starbucks on your Facebook page. That's why they get data from Facebook.
Yes.
Businesses get data from Facebook. They take data from, we put our data out there like crazy.
We do.
And
You know
and
what?
the community is the least group of people that benefit for the amount of data we put out there.
And not only are they putting out data out there on Facebook and LinkedIn, and not LinkedIn, but TikTok, I see us making free ads. I saw this one lady. She went to Starbucks and she got some, I don't know if it's the fall thing, and so she made this video about it, about how, the pumpkin spice latte, blah blah blah, something. I mean, I just think it cost like $15 for a cup. She made the video, it went viral, everybody started going to Starbucks and ordering this thing.
She made nothing off of it.
Nothing.
She made nothing off of it.
Dime.
Starbucks took all the money, and that's what we do to ourselves. We consume and we create everything for other people
Yeah.
to profit.
And you know what's going to happen? The way she did the ad was so cute and funny. Starbucks is going to take that, the framework, and make their own ads, but without her. It happens all the time.
That's what happens to us.
All
That's what
the
happens to us
time.
all the
We
time.
generate all the ideas and all the creativity and and we benefit, and we're so creative. Like, we'll just move on and make another thing, and it'll go viral in a minute, because we're such a resource, unlimited resource of these ideas. Like, it just
We have brilliant intelligence, and it's time that
the rapper say what's something on my DNA, and I can't remember.
Some I can't remember.
Yeah.
Put in,
I need to
but
always singing that. But no, there's always, we're the ones that come up with all the ideas. Like, I was looking at this article the other day, and they were showing one of these major fashion houses in Italy, and how they talked about this seminal event was the event that changed the name of fashion as we know it. Guess what? It was all the fashion from New York. On the streets of New York, the big gold chain. They were white models with the hat turned back. I was like,
wow.
What? And the people who created these ideas got zero for it.
Yeah. Mr. Dimitri says patent them before you post. Well, it doesn't matter if you patent them if you don't have access to a lawyer to sue when they take your patent. I mean,
But
they
I mean, the thing is that we just have to be aware and be vigilant, right? First of all, don't promote. Make your own coffee drink and promote.
promote that. You know what I'm saying?
But
Produce
yeah,
something else. But here's the kicker though. I want us to understand. We have access wherever we have a database, wherever we have multiple people's information, multiple people's email.
yeah,
We can use models. We can use artificial intelligence to predict what these people will do,
yeah,
where they will come,
yeah.
when
Where
they
they
will come
are.
to church, where they are. We can organize them in terms of their zip code.
Yes,
We can,
and
so
once you,
if we know, hold on a second, if we know a whole bunch of people live in Ocoee, we can organize them into their own church.
yeah,
If
yeah,
a whole bunch of people live in Apopka, a whole bunch of people live in East Side. We can organize who even visits them. We can
and
make
and that's
predictions.
that's the key, right? Because as a service-based organization, we can use the data mining to figure out what are the needs, and that's what the companies do.
Right.
They will look at our post and see what we're talking about and what we're interested in and what we might be needing and try to anticipate that and give it right back to us. You search one thing on one of those ads app, shopping apps, and then your feed is forever. You search for shoes, next thing you know, they're showing you socks and this and laces,
I was
everything that
I was looking at cruises yesterday. Nothing but cruise,
will come
nothing
up
but
from your
cruise
from
on
now
all my
on.
social media.
From now until I don't know Christmas is gonna be on your feed. But that's how they do, right? So that we can do the same thing. If we have the information, we can keep a database of the needs when there is some event that might happen in that community that we can meet, or maybe there's a baby born, we can reach out, or there's a death, we can reach out, there's a sick person, we can be there. And that's because I think the old model of the tent revivals are gone, not completely, but in terms of just trying to let me not say too much, but we need to be a organization that's meeting the needs of the people.
I think the key word is,
Bottom
if we're
line.
gonna keep calling ourselves an organization, we got to be organized.
Yikes.
And
Yikes. Ouch. Ouch.
artificial
Ouch.
is.
That one
I'm
hurt.
sorry.
That one hurt.
Listen,
That one hurt.
stop calling yourself an organization and you're disorganized.
That
And
was
if you're
that was below the
disorganized,
belt, Dr. Byfield.
I pulled out the belt. I pulled out the whip. But here's the thing: if you are really really poor in organization, Chat GPT is here to
Can
help
help.
you.
Can make a difference. Absolutely.
Machine learning, data analytics, it's here to help.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. So how can artificial intelligence help the church? They can help with ideas for all kinds of things. Just ask them. Ask ChatGPT now, how can it help the church? It can be a assistant for you to get to do all the basics.
Mhm.
It can actually predict where people will most likely live, and a good way that your leaders can impact them.
Yes.
Getting information, it can predict what needs are in the community,
Mhm.
and then you then do them,
Yeah.
right? Artificial intelligence can empower the church through levels of organization. It can create calendars for you.
Absolutely.
It can like, there's so much that can be done. The key thing is you got to do them.
Yeah, I want to answer your mom's question. She was talking about, the whole inaccuracy thing.
Mhm.
And that's important, right? Because we need to realize that these are not calculators, they're not deterministic models. So they're intended to be creativity stimulators.
Right.
That's the main goal, to
It's your
stimulate
brain.
you with ideas that you will then go and carry out. So even if you like, for me, like when I'm writing papers or something, I don't start with ChatGPT or any
Right.
other models. I write and then I will say, edit or rephrase or act as an experienced copywriter and reorganize this, correct the grammar, the spelling, the readability, the comprehension of my writing, and I give it to ChatGPT, right? So that way it's taking what I've written and it's optimizing it, because we all have the flaws in writing that we tend to overlook. I tend to be a little bit wordy, although the models tend also to be verbose, so that's another thing you can but you can actually tell the model, say, hey, can condense this to from 5 paragraphs to 3, right? And it's gonna take out all the fluff and just give you the main ideas. And even that's one of the things I enjoy doing with it now. You can take other writing, like those research papers. You can take the whole thing and put it in and say, can you tell me what's the main points from this research? And it will do that for you. So it is meant to be an assistant to the work that you're doing. It is meant to help you relieve you of all the automated tasks that you might find yourself doing. In fact, I just read a paper today. Harvard University did a research where they looked at several hundred employees in different professions, and they did kind of a comparative study where they had some were using the large language models and others weren't. And then they compared how much time was saved, how much more they got done.
Time saved.
Their efficiency was increased by some 30-something% on average. Tasks were cut in half in terms of how long it took. And those are the kind of things that the tool is intended to do. So it's not to be completely taking over any area of your life, but
right,
to be helping you in everything.
Like I asked to expound on, they said you got to create a budget for a
Yes,
single
it's about
retreat.
lifestyle. Let me tell you something. This woman is speaking. I said, where was this tool when I was doing my PhD? But anyway,
hold on. So it says, okay, you got, number one, you got to estimate the cost. You got to think about accommodations. You got to think about meals, transportation, speakers, certain materials, promotions. Like, it makes you think of things. Then it gives you, here's some revenue sources that you could get: registration fees, sponsorships, fundraising, grants, donations. Like, then they say, okay, how do you track it? They say, make sure you use a treasurer, do a post retreat assessment. Like, they have all kinds of ideas that you follow. The key thing is really, it's crucial. It's heavy in helping you organize.
yes,
Now it's time to execute
yeah,
on it's helping you organize. My mother said, she said it sounds I know you were saying a PhD.
yes. Like, where I'm like, everybody should do a PhD now, right? Come on.
No, everybody don't do no PhD.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something, Maya. There are tools, because ChatGPT and others are just the base model. There are hundreds of tools built on these models, right?
Yeah.
There are tools built on these that can write a dissertation for you. They ain't free.
They're not free.
But guess what? I bet you people are already paid for it.
I know. That's why I don't trust a lot of PhDs now.
Right?
I'm just,
And the thing is, when I was learning about this was like last year, the end of last year, when the hype was about ChatGPT. But then I realized these tools have been around for years. That's
for a long time.
I've been using them for years.
For a long time.
Yes.
So here, listen. Get organized.
Right. And that's
you utilize artificial intelligence and
for
execute.
Students out there, whether you're high school, college, even elementary, whatever, familiarize yourself with these tools, because I bet you that your counterparts are using it. And yes, there's the issue of plagiarism. But if you use the tools as they're intended, that is not an issue. Like, I start with my writing and ask the tool to optimize and improve, and then give you ideas, generate, like you said, organize. That's one of the things I struggled when I was writing a lot, is like organizing your thoughts, because I used to have those the cards and the system, then you're trying to decide which goes where, and but now with these models, it's like
it helps you to,
and I feel like it's structured. I will give the whole thing to ChatGPT and say, hey, reorganize this as best for the readability and blah blah blah. I mean, It's unlimited what the different areas it can help with. But
Yeah, yeah. Thanks so much, Dr. Yona. We're going to talk about the artificial intelligence in the community
yes.
all year for the rest of the year,
and
quite
and
along.
and you challenged me with something, and I took up the challenge. I created a course, a short course on using Google Sheets free, because I decided I'm going to look for all of the open source free options. Because when you told me that Big ML,
Machine
like,
learning is not free anymore.
right, I found like three, and I think there are a couple more. So I started with Google Sheets because I'm thinking that should be the one that's most accessible. Google Sheets can do machine learning. It does basic machine learning, but that's all you need right now. And so I actually created a course, and I've been doing a whole lot of things. So that's why I haven't even gotten together with you. But we need to, like, get together again.
Sure.
And I want to make this accessible to everyone, because I've kind of broken it down just to the basics, just to the simple, no big paraphernalia, no heavy tech talk, just the fundamentals, because there are tools out there that anyone, Sister Byfield, can use. The little ones can just to kind of understand a little bit in terms of what's going on and what they're doing with your data, and how they are
How they're
uh,
targeting you and meeting your needs
yeah, exactly.
and taking your money
Right,
to
based on
meet your
what you,
needs.
yeah, like Sister Michael said, those wearables, that's generating massive amounts of data. That
Those wearables are generating massive amounts of
Mhm.
data.
Yep.
Mhm. Mhm. But what are we as a community doing to get that same data as the rest of the world can do so that we can empower our communities, that we can meet the needs of our community?
Yeah,
The
we need,
church,
yeah,
the
start
church
mining some
can
of
do
that church
this.
data, because nobody else is interested in that data but us. So
Right. It's time
at
for the
least not
church to
yet,
mining their
not
data.
yet. So
It's time for the church to
yeah,
start mining our data so that we can meet the needs of the people that that are in our church. All right, guys, it's been great. Thanks so much. I see a lot of you watch tonight.
yes, thank you all. This
I
is
hope
this
we've
is this
given
is
you
where
some
you start,
ideas.
Sister Byfield, by supporting what we're doing. You're right where you need to be.
Yeah, 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 yeah. For sure. Make sure y'all go on Chat GPT and ask
Yeah.
whatever you have, whatever idea you have for the church, whatever idea you have for the church. You tell Chat GPT, give me an outline on how I can um do
Use,
that
yeah,
thing. So
exactly.
if you want to start a a smoking cessation class,
Hmm.
ask ChatGPT, what give me the process of starting a smoking cessation class at my church,
Yep, and it'll do it.
and it'll do it for you. Good night, everybody. I'm the
Bye
phenomenal
bye.
STEMist.
Thank you
So is
all. This
she.
was great.